Welcome to the paint chat.
Big and bouncy session.
I forgot how to do this.
I have the same problem.
I haven't done one for so long. I'm going to have to learn how to do it again.
Oh man, what do I do here? I can't share it till it's over? No.
How much of a live stream if you can't share it?
Well, the link in the chat is the link to join. But where is the link to the video? I forgot how to do this. Like if you're watching, you could go on YouTube, find it, it's public, and just grab it and share it, and everybody'd see it anyway. But for an unlisted video, where do you get the link? I have a feeling I'm totally forgetting.
I think you have to go to your history page, don't you? If you go to your history page rather than the general page, you know, down the left-hand side on your page where it says history, all the unlisted ones come up.
Live control room.
Glasses.
Let's have a look on mine. If you go to your YouTube page and you click on your icon.
Oh, I found it.
You got it.
I found it.
You click on your icon on the left-hand side, just below. Like you get library, then you get history. It should be in there.
Copy. Sorry, folks, if you're watching this from the beginning, having a little technical issues getting this chat posted, which I'm going to do in the Tabletop Commanders. So you can watch it live instead of waiting until later. But that's the situation. Let's see. Tabletop Commanders. We get the link posted so you guys can watch. And you guys can check this in the chat. Check it in on Facebook and see if it shows up. But people that click on it should be able to see it because it's unlisted. Unless I made a mistake. Yeah, it's right there. So,
Board game special.
Welcome to the Paint and Chat with Fritz, a Tabletop Commanders Paint and Chat, honestly. I'm Fritz, we got Ian, we've got Nick, and we've got Andrew, our old crew. We usually do these chats private because they tend to be really long. There's really no point to posting up a 5-hour Paint and Chat. I don't think anyone's going to sit there that long. Maybe. I know there's some hardcore painters in this hobby, so it wouldn't surprise me. We do it. So I'm just going to keep this up for like an hour, maybe 2. You guys can enjoy, and I'll try and do that more often. So yeah, I'm working on my Flames of War. Among other things, I'll show you guys that in a second here. Get the camera on me. Autofocus, which means I got to go like this. There they are. That's what I'm working on, some Brits.
Oh, yeah.
These are repainted figures. I didn't paint these from scratch.
Yeah, I see them.
And there.
Is that late war?
Late War is my favorite.
Yeah.
I want to do some mid-war with Flames of War. I like that 42-43 Eastern Front stuff. really enjoy the history involved. But
If I,
I might save that just for my 20 mil that I'm doing.
yeah, good.
Let me get the front of these guys.
Give me 5 minutes, guys. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right,
Okay.
Nick. Come on. Okay, we'll focus on their faces. But I'm working on those. It's a motorized platoon, so there's not many figures. 3 medium-sized bases and 3 small bases. Got a Piat in there. We've got a 2-inch mortar and a command base. It's pretty good. I'm going to try and get those done for some future battle reports in the spring using Flames of War. Working on this little guy. He's a barbarian. For my role-playing games. It's a Reaper miniature, so he's huge, as he should be for a barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
I could get the left and right. Let me see. Let's get him there, and then we'll pull the hand away and see if it does. No, gets a autofocus. I hate it. I hate autofocus. I absolutely hate it. There's things in the background it wants to look at, and it won't look at what's in front of it.
Nearly there.
And then you got to get the left and right proper. Come on, hold them up. Come on.
I think it's focusing more on you. Oh, there you are. Oh, nearly. Right by your chin.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. This is like a game we play here in the chat. We all go through this. Just won't do it, so forget it.
So is that like 35 mil or something like that?
They're big. Compare it to a... Let me compare it to a Citadel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, if I could just get used to the left and right thing here. Oh, he's huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty big compared to the Citadel guy. He's still pretty big. So, yeah, he's probably a 35. A heroic 28, as they're sometimes known. I don't know.
I was looking at all these new Greek hoplite figures floating about, and I can't make out whether they're 28 or heroic scale. They look nice, though.
Ian, what are you working on, Andrew?
Oh, the same house, Matthew's house from Manassas Stone House. I've reduced myself to painting individual stones now. I've got loads of photocopies, or not photocopies, what do you call it? Printed off pictures of this house, and I'm trying to get it to look like it's coming on, but it's hard work. But it's getting there. I used to only have to do it once.
Yeah, you really try and get it right. You're like a perfectionist.
Well, I don't know. It's such a nice little sculpt. I bought these from Timecast.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the actual the sculpt of the stone is beautiful. So I like to try and do it justice if I can. He said I'm only going to do it once, so I'll try and get it as best I can. But painting individual stones on a stone house is hard work. It's coming now.
One thing I want to say, if I could jump in here real quick, is that if you are interested in joining these chats, whether they're private or otherwise, the best way to do it, I get this, people asking me this all the time, best way to do it is to join the Tabletop Commanders community on Facebook. Just put in Tabletop, one word, Commanders Forum. We're on Facebook, Tabletop Commanders Forum. And you'll find us. Join us, and 9 times out of 10, you'll get in. It's a pretty tight community. We don't have a lot of adverts going on. We have a lot of people posting their collections, their painting projects, wargaming questions, battles in progress, and all that good stuff. And it's also a place there where we post the link to join these public paint and chats. Or if you want to be part of a private one, you can get sent a private link that will bring you into the chat as well. Like today is a private chat, but we're opening up for an hour or two for people to watch. But if you are interested in joining, leave a comment, let me know, and we'll go from there. That's the best way to join these chats. Get on Facebook, even if it's just for the reason to join the Tabletop Commanders. Get in the community. It's great. I think everybody here would agree it's been the bulwark of our community here online on YouTube. Yeah. That's the best way. Outside of that, you'll have to message me privately to get the link sent to you, like on YouTube, through messages or some way like that, as long as I know you. So yeah, that's the best way to get in. And how about you, Ian? What have you been up to? What projects and madness are you up to?
Well, I'm not doing any painting because I've been doing a lot of board gaming. I've been doing my 6mm American Civil War campaign across on Tabletop Commanders blogspot.
Yeah.
That eventually ran to, I think, was 27, 28 parts, something like that.
Yeah.
Right from beginning to end. So I've been busy doing that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. Quite time consuming, obviously, playing the game, rolling the dice, taking photographs, captioning the photographs, narrating it all, and then uploading it all. So, but it was enjoyable. It took me there. We got there in the end.
Challenge.
So that's what I've been doing. And I've been playing a few board games.
And speaking of board games, I'm going to show you guys some of my newest acquisitions. I hope to get to in the spring because it's so cold here. I can't get into my game room. It's just terrible. That's why there's no videos coming from my page on Dash of Élan recently. I just can't go into my game room / studio. It's freezing. But I'll show some of them.
No, it'd be good to see it.
I got SPQR, the deluxe revised edition. I was on the P500 waiting not long because I didn't join the P500 for this particular game until maybe 6 months ago. And it's been on P500 I think for a couple of years. But it finally came through. And what else did I get? To look at my shelf. I dug out my Fear God Dreadnought. Really psyched to get back into naval gaming. Really psyched.
Yeah.
And I know what I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get back into Fear God Dreadnought, which is out of print, but it's part of the the Admiralty trilogy, as it's known, by Clash of Arms Games, which is made up of 3 distinct games. It's made up of Fear God and Dreadnought, Command at Sea, which is World War II, and Harpoon, which is Moderns. Those three separate games make up the Admiralty trilogy, and they all use the same rules system. The only difference is the stats of the ships and etc. And what the Clash of Arms Games has done is they've basically let Fear God and Dreadnought and Harpoon go out of print while focusing on Command at Sea, which they've revised, and it's a big deal. But what you'll see next is you'll see another version of Fear God Dreadnought come out, as well as Harpoon, and it'll all be fit together nicely into this series once again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig out my Fear God Dreadnought and start playing again. And get into Command at Sea, I hope. The World War II stuff as well. That's where I'd like to go. It's expensive, but it's worth it. And I already have a ton of World War I 2400 scale metal ships that I collected like a decade ago. And I got to dig them out, put them on the table, and start painting them again. I'd love to do it. And once I get started with that, I'm going to get deep into the wooden ships.
Yeah, that's a good period, that.
Yeah, it is. I've been reading a particular novel suggested by...
Getting on with that one.
Well, I haven't had a lot of time to read it, but I've been reading the very beginning of it, first chapters. And immediately, the first thing that strikes me is, yeah, you got to have some knowledge of the jargon at sea. There's a lot of seamanship words that come flying at you in this book that unless you know about, you really don't know.
You soon pick it up, though, because I found that with Patrick O'Brien, never... And then you can see some of the old sayings that are still used today, especially in Britain. I don't know so much about America, but
yeah, I imagine over there in Britain, the UK, and all that, it's the naval side of history and stories and fiction. It's probably pretty popular because you're basically an island. You've got a rich history of naval conflict and wars. It's a big deal.
It does eventually explain everything, though, in the books. Because, I mean, he knows that a lot of people who are reading it, they are going to know about the rigging of a...
Yeah.
Or
the Empire.
Let me grab my SPQR and show you guys. I haven't even punched it yet. It's unwrapped, but it's brand new. I'll get that while you guys chat a little bit.
Yeah, as I said, I've started scanning all my board games now before I punch them in case there's any if I damage them or there's anything missing.
Yeah.
So at least I know if I've got the scans of them, I can always print another copy out if something goes drastically wrong.
That's a good idea, that.
Well, I did think about it. Somebody online who was doing an unboxing, and he said, "I'm not going to punch it yet because I've got to scan the counters yet." I think it was Gilbert Collins. He says, "I always scan the counters before I punch them." So I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
So there's all my games are already punched.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you wanted to, you could lay them out, I suppose, and do it that way. But it's a lot easier when they're still on the sprue.
No, it's seeing all these board games. I've been thinking of getting a couple myself, but it's just getting the time to play them.
Yeah. SPQR.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Well, it's been around a long time, and this is now the re-release.
Is it still the original GMT? Oh yeah.
Is that volume 3? Does it say on the side there?
Yeah.
Well, it's either volume 2 or 3. I can't see it all.
Yeah, I can't see it.
The great battles of history.
Yeah.
But with SPQR, I'm assuming we're talking mainly Rome.
Rome, yeah. Is it Republican Rome, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I'd like to do a few more board games. I've got quite a few American Civil War stuff that I think I've only played a couple really, but not a lot. I just haven't got the time to leave them all set up.
Mm.
And I've got one humongous 1980s Warsaw Pact NATO board game called the Next War. That is humongous thing. But I dare say one day I will get around to it.
It's finding the table space when you've got these big multi-mappers. That's the trouble.
Yeah. I mean, this is the entire Europe, France, Germany, right into up to the Polish border. It's really big.
Let me back my camera up here. Let's set up for this. Set up for cold weather, as you can see. Can you see that beauty?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Oh my God! And it's a thick box. It's not a typical.
Big 3-inch box.
It's beautiful. Oh my God! I'm so glad I got this. I had this originally years ago. I ended up selling it, like I do everything. Well, I had all the supplements from C3I magazine and all the modules. I had everything. I love the series, Great Battles of the Ancient World. And sold them all, but I got this back again, and boy, is it worth it. It comes with a couple modules as well, like the Barbarian module comes with it. I mean, originally, the game comes with like 4 battles, I think, originally. But this has like maybe a dozen battles in all. Here's all the maps you get. Let me pull them out of here. There's a ton of these maps. Look at that.
Nice.
Just look at that. All double-sided. So that's
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Each map for a different battle, I can imagine, huh?
Yep. They're big maps, too. Historical battles.
I remember I used to do the same thing with you, Kurt. I was selling everything. Old PlayStation games, old board games, old miniatures. I remember my younger brother was saying to me, I'm not going to sleep with you because I'm afraid you're going to sell me during the night.
Yeah. That's one way to put it. Nice thick rule book for the system, and it's in color.
Yeah.
That's it.
Look at that beautiful stuff.
Mm.
You got the phalanx troops, which are a wide counter. You got a scenario book,
Oh,
which is quite big as well. And I'll show you some of the color in here. Find a battle. Zama. And as you can see, this stuff is great fodder for miniatures gamers because you can literally get the orders of battle and the maps, the layout of the terrain, right from these scenario books and play it as a miniatures game. I love that. The resource value of these games is fantastic. And here's another scenario book, Heraclea, Great Plains, Magnesia. Classic battles from the Republican era, right before Marius and Caesar and all that. Battle of Alipa.
oh, yeah.
Look at that. I'm going to have a lot of great times setting up these games, letting them sit there for days, pondering strategies and tactics as the days go by, playing out some turns and having this battle come to life in my mind over the course of a few weeks. I'm going to savor that. Here is the Barbarian module, Rome versus Gauls and Samnites. And it's got a bunch of scenarios as well. Sentinum, Telamon, Cremona, ones I can't pronounce. And then if you probably could pronounce them really good. Oh, that's Latin. You're Greek. What am I talking about?
Of course.
Sorry. And then we got play sheets here. 2 of each for 2 players. I'll be playing solo. Get a bunch of them, double-sided. 4 panels. And then, of course, we get to the really good part. The counters. And there is a small half sheet. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double-sided counter sheets for Rome, the Greeks, the Gauls.
Okay.
So there's no glare. And get a nice.
What size counters are they? 1/2 inch or?
I would say these are 1/2 inch, the small squares, and the phalanx troops are double width. You can see some of them up top.
Yeah.
So these are the smaller counters that you'd see with like ASL and that kind of thing. There's some information markers. If I can get this right. Missiles low, blah, 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 blah. The system is really enjoyable. If you've ever played Great Battles of History, any of the games, the system is awesome. It's got a initiative pull system of chits from a cup, if I remember correctly. And there is a version of it called Simple Great Battles of History. If you don't like the complexity it throws at you, there is a version called Simple Great Battles of History, which is sold as a separate book. And what it does is it streamlines the mechanics of the system presented here into a faster playing system, simpler, and it takes the existing scenarios and converts them slightly for this new format. And you get that with the rule book as well as supplements for Simple Great Battles of History. I don't currently have that. I'd probably enjoy the full game. But that's SPQR. You get a lot of stuff in this box. Like I said, 12 different maps. I'm not sure how many battles in all. I imagine 12 maps.
Yeah, but in one of the maps, just a desert map, so which you can use for 2 or 3 or 4 battles, I think.
Yeah, that's very true. There's not much terrain. There's a couple battles that have some interesting terrain features to them. Let me see here. I'm going to switch glasses because I can't see. I can't see to read. What it says in the back regarding scenarios. Let me read just a little bit for you guys that are watching this. Most of the new SPQR battles come from long out-of-print SPQR modules, including Pyrrhic Victory, Consul for Rome, Africanus, War Elephant, Jugurtha, and from C3I Magazine. The battles. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 scenarios in this box. And there's only 6 or 5 actually in the original SPQR game. So you're getting all these additional ones. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional battles from the modules thrown in. Asculum, Heraclea, Beneventum, Trebia, Cannae, of course. The classic. I can't pronounce this. I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but check me on how to pronounce this, Nick. Hold on a second.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I can't pronounce this. I used to be able to. I can't do it. Cynocephala.
Kinos
Okay.
It means, I'll tell you what exactly it means. Cynocephala, okay. In Greek, this is ancient Greek, it means the dog's heads, because they're two basically small like mountains. So kinos means dog, and kephales means heads. So cynocephales is dog's heads.
Ah.
Yeah, because I think you have 2 small hills.
Huh. That's interesting. History.
Yeah.
So there you go. SPQR. I hope to do some videos on this, I hope. And I'll quickly show you this. This is my original copy of.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, looks a good one.
I have the 2001 version. I think they might have come out with one more version after that. But I got this right when it was released, so I got all the updates anyway, so it's all good. Here's some of the markers I made.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of that,
Nice. Kinoscephalus. Very good.
did I pronounce that right?
Yes, yes.
And of course, you get tons of counters. Not going to pull them out to represent ships if you don't have miniatures. That's cool. You get this high seas fleet. This is a scenario supplement, and it is huge. Look at this.
Fucking hell, it's a book in
That's what you call a rule book.
It's not a rule book. This is just chock full of scenarios.
Crikey.
Let me find a. Here's a map.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the people involved with the development of this game, you might recognize. They're fellow tabletop commanders, in fact. I won't mention them, but they are in here. This book, another massive book that I have for it, is data annexes for ships and aircraft of World War I. And again, this is a pretty sizable book. And this is where you get all the stats for various ships, aircraft, and so on.
Crikey.
See some of those stats there?
Yeah.
Gives you some idea of the game's details. Let me find something interesting here. Looks like I'm looking at Spanish ships. Heavier than air. But I played this game a couple times when I got it, and it's a really good game. You really feel like you're experiencing a naval battle, and you're in command of a ship or a squadron or a division of ships, and it's a very intuitive system, which I enjoy. No weird game mechanics. And then I'm going to show you something really interesting about the game. One is the rule book, which I have in a binder. It's green. And like I said, I played this years ago. It has a small pamphlet called Jumpstart. This is where you, if you're first learning the game, this is what you look at. It's an introduction. It's very thin. This is a really useful book because it shows you historical deployments, organization, and tactics that were actually used by the fleets in World War I. Like, take a look at this detail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
This kind of information is useful because this is how you're going to have to play the game. You know, you got to know about how they deployed and how did they organize ships into squadrons and so on and so forth. And very important, of course, is how they deployed from column to line of battle. It's very interesting stuff. If I could find something here. And it shows you how they maneuvered and how they communicated. I mean, literally in this game, you write out your orders simultaneously, and you do it with flags signals or light signals, you know, those little flashing lights. Or what are they? You shoot them sparklers up in the air, you know. What was that at night?
The flag.
Yeah, flares. That's another way to communicate with other ships. And there was radio, but it was a late war thing. And it's only hinted at in this system because it's World War I. But it goes into that kind of detail about how they fought and how they did things, which is very educational, and it's used directly in the game. You know, like when you send some orders, you're literally in a 3-second or a 3-minute tactical phase. I'll show you an example here. A tactical phase is only 3 minutes long. A maneuver phase is like a half an hour, 30 minutes. Once you get in sight of the enemy ships, time turns into tactical phases of 3 minutes long. Now, let's say I spotted Ian's ship on the horizon. I see the smokestacks, and I want to signal back to my commanding ship, part of my division or whatever, that I spotted this ship. You literally, here's a sheet called a sighting report, and you'll know how it works just by looking at it. I would fill this out, and that's what would go to my fellow player or my commander that's above me, or the ship I'm signaling. I would put, with 12 characters or less, and spaces count as a character, the unit sighted, its location, its course, its speed, and that's it. And as you can see, I only have 30 characters that I can use to send that message. So I have to be very particular what I say, because in 3 minutes, that's all I could send.
Well, that's the flag hoists.
And at the bottom is the type of signal, visual, sonar, or HFDF. They mean something.
High frequency direction finding.
You're awesome, Ian. That's great. But you see how you have to do it, and then it has to be received and interpreted. And so many turns after they get it, they can start doing things. So, and here's generic messages you can also send. It's a very similar format. Again, it's 30 characters from, to, and the time, wireless or visual. And you just fill in the blocks with letters.
Yeah, so they're actually simulating flag hoists.
Yeah.
Each block's a flag. Each flag's a letter.
There's different forms of. There's the flag, and I think there's what's that called?
A flashing light. We used to use 10-inch lamps, so all different. And you say Morse
code.
Addis lamps or something, wasn't it?
Aldis lamp, yeah. That was a small one you held in your arm, but there was a 10-inch lantern, and then there was a 20-inch. And that used to be up behind the bridge, and that was like a bloody searchlight, that. But yeah, we used to bang out all the messages with that. I dabbed at that. That was one of my jobs. I was a signalman.
Yeah, it was. Flag hoist, visual signals, flashing light, flare and rockets, electronic signals. And then it goes into detail about writing operations orders, standing orders, battle instructions, and fighting instructions. It's got a lot of detail that's very intuitive. And it's not as complex as it seems, though. I mean, the turn sequence, I judge a game's complexity by its turn sequence. If you look at the turn sequence, like if you look at ASL's turn sequence, it's I should show that just as a joke. It's humongous.
Book in itself, I think.
It is. But this actually has a very straightforward, small turn sequence. Like here's the turn sequence. Literally, there's an intermediate turn and a tactical turn, depending on how far away you are from the enemy. But look at the tactical turn. 3 minutes. You start off with a plotting phase. Next is the movement phase. Next is the planned fire phase. Next is the detection phase, detection check phase. Second, air move phase, a reaction fire phase, and finally the resolution phase. Now for the 30-minute intermediate turn, there's fewer phases altogether. You got a plotting phase, a movement phase, detection, amphibious combat resolution phase. That's it. It's 30 minutes. It's not much. It's very straightforward, actually. And like I said, intuitive. When I say intuitive, I mean the mechanics the game uses are real-world descriptions of what was actually done. You know, they're not hidden game mechanics or weird things. You know what's going on. And here's this page I wanted to show you. The kind of details they put in here that help you as a player, especially if you're new to this type of gaming. Like here's an example of multiple divisions in line ahead or column formations disposed abeam. And it shows their deployment from that into a port wing column. They're basically turning into a single column. You'll see what I mean when you see this illustration. See the top?
Yeah, that's yeah. So you've got three divisions in a beam.
And here's how they maneuver so they can get into a single line, as you can see at the bottom.
Yeah, so they're doing that's known as a copen, which is a wheel following the leader, as opposed to instead of turning port, you wheel into port, which is known as copen. So that's a copen port 90. And so they will follow on, and as they reach, and they'll turn one behind the other. And eventually, if everything's right and you've got your distances apart, you'll end up in one long line. Otherwise, you'd be joining your mates for top time. Yeah.
There's line abreast and line of bearing. Yeah. So this is a little historical tidbit that's interspersed throughout the rules. They have little sections like that in here. I love it. I love that detail. Because if you have no clue, you know.
Yeah, you need to. So how do you go about doing the plotting thing if you're playing solo?
Well, you play as the opposition. You only know what you know, so you got to make decisions and issue orders based on what you know. I've never had trouble doing that. Actually, when I did play, I was playing with my nephew, so I never actually had the chance to play this solo. But I will this time.
It should be easy enough, I would have thought.
Yeah. But that's the rules. It's
not bad. Yeah.
Different arcs that weapons mounts can have, how many tubes each mount has. Here's what's called a player handbook. You see, I just got endless books for this game. This is, I think it's literally a compilation of all the tables in the entire game, which looks daunting because there's a lot in there. Visibility, environmental modifiers. And it's all percentage based. D10s. And here's a formation plotting board. As you can see.
Graticule.
Yeah. It's like the real deal, my friend.
Yeah. It is. We used to use them. We used to have them. Obviously, in our ships, we had a big one with perspex, but we used to write on it with Shinagram.
And the last thing I'll show you is the all-important ship reference sheet. This is what you would fill out for each of your ships. The details on this essentially shows you the details of the game. Let me get a good shot there. Let me zoom in. Doesn't seem to be focused. Can you read a little bit of that, or is it just out of focus?
Yeah, you can make it out more or less, yeah. Yeah, some detail there, isn't there?
I think I got to hold the damn thing. level with
You
them.
only have to fill them in for your capital ships, though. Surely you won't have to do it right down to destroyer level.
Yeah, this is for the bigger ships. The smaller boats and the aircraft have a slightly different, smaller sheet. But it covers all the details that you need to know for turning. It's anti-submarine weaponry. Its main weaponry, which is this big central area up here. You can see where you put the guns, the number of tubes in a mount, the number of mounts, the fire arcs, the range, the penetration of the weapon, and so on and so forth. Mine information, if it has any. Also, you keep track of its staff carried on board the ship, which can affect how many orders it can give, and so on and so forth. Torpedoes, movement data, if you want to make a hard turn or a normal turn, how you what is it called? How far your advance has to be before you actually turn. Yeah, so that's all your big ships. Smaller ships have a little smaller sheet. I'll show that real quick just to be complete about this. But here's the smaller sheets. As you can see, it's a very smaller sheet.
Does it deal with submarine warfare as well?
Yeah, it has submarines as well.
Okay.
Aircraft. It even covers landing forces. If you're playing a scenario where you got troops landing on an island or something.
Gallipoli.
There you go. Exactly. So that's a look at it. I love this game system. I want to get back to playing it. I started collecting 1/2400 scale ships for it. Never got to painting them, but I'm really stoked to do this. So.
And that's stuff you've collected over the years, or just when you first got the game?
I bought this game in 2001, and I bought a bunch of 1/2400 scale metal ships around the same time.
Yeah.
And that was it. You know, my life regarding the hobby changed dramatically shortly after that, 2003 actually. So I didn't do any wargaming or collecting for at least a decade.
Yeah.
And now here I am coming back. So
Right.
I still
Well,
have it.
Kept it all.
Yep. Some things I did keep.
Yeah.
And that was one of them.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that, folks. That was a look at some of my new acquisitions, what I've been doing.
Yeah, good that.
No, I haven't got anything new apart from my book, and that's about it.
I was looking for that book online. You can't get it. You can get a hard copy. I was trying to get one for Kindle. You know,
Yeah.
maybe it'll come out later because I think you had the hardback, didn't you?
Yeah, I got it on. Where did I get it? Oh, Amazon.
Yeah.
UK. I got it dirt cheap as well. I only got it for $5.
That's not bad.
It was one of these. It's second hand, but looking at it, you think it was brand new.
Yeah, I'm trying not to buy any more physical books, though, as much as I love them.
Yeah.
I've got so many, so I'm trying to buy digital books now.
Yeah, I got out of reading, and now I'm getting back into it. I just love sitting down with a book. It's I don't know, just something about a book in your hand. But no, it is good. I've enjoyed it. I've just got over the naval part of the American Civil War in this one. It's a different essays by different people. It's not one continuous story, but it's very well written. I enjoyed it. All about the ironclads and the monitors and Merrimacs and all the different ships. That's something I'd like to try out. American Civil War naval. Be good. I think I could do that quite quite well. Some river engagement, something like that, Mississippi.
Yeah, that's what you need. Just the mouth of the Mississippi and
Yeah. Something like that. That would, I think I could do that fairly well on this table. Because you get loads of different, I have looked at the figures and that, and you get some brilliant little models out there. So, but no, I got to stay focused and get this locked up.
Ooh, yes.
I collected 1/600 ACW, 1/600 scale ships.
Did you? Yeah.
Virginia and the Monitor.
Yeah.
That's it. They were big. Never painted them, but they were beautiful models. And I also had a much bigger collection of 1/1200 scale, twice as small as those. And quite a few of them, but I sold all of that stuff before I even attempted to paint them. I had Osprey books on it, everything.
Oh, crikey. No,
No
I think
regrets.
1/1200 is the scale I'd go for, I think.
Yeah, that's a good scale for that conflict. I mean, the ships are like a couple inches at best.
Yeah.
But the 1/600, they are such beautiful models. And if you really want to play like a captain of a ship as opposed to a fleet or maybe a squadron, it would be great to play with that scale figures. Just controlling a squadron on squadron or ship on ship, the details of, making decisions about what type of ammo to load or which, all this stuff that you guys know about and I don't. But I didn't know which scale I wanted, so I collected them both. And I never did anything with it. What a
No, I definitely something I want to do, I think. I've got to get this lot to a certain stage, and then the world's my oyster. Then I can pick what I want to do.
Yeah.
I've got loads of stuff prepped and ready to different things, but I seem to have great fun in prepping stuff and getting it ready to paint, and then moving on to something else.
Yeah, it's those role-playing games because you're going to be playing in my role-playing game session next week.
Yeah. That's Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, that's right. You joined that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You and Richard.
Yeah, no, I've been looking at what's the guy's called again? There's a guy on YouTube. He's got like a Polish sounding surname. Sikowski, something like that.
Oh, Seth. He's an author.
Yeah,
Sarkowski or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I've been watching his. He's doing tutorials on Call of Cthulhu 7th edition on how to create a character and introduction to 7th edition and things like that. It's been interesting.
Well, I played the solo classic adventure.
Yeah.
Hold it up for you guys. This is getting a little off topic because it's role playing, but who doesn't like Call of Cthulhu? H.P. Lovecraft. This is the starter set my campaign is going to begin with, and it's a beautiful little box set. And I played this solo adventure called Alone Against the Flames, and it's solo and it's classic. This has been around for a long time, this adventure, and it's like you'd expect. It's number based. You make your choices, you go to the number, that kind of thing. I played it, and I wound up getting burnt to death on some kind of beacon by a village of people that was actually a cult. So it was a bad ending for me. It was really sad, Andrew. I knew what was going on. They did all kinds of things to me, but there was a girl in the village, a young girl, who loosened my shackles, let's say, because I was tied up and they were taking me to the beacon. They eventually got me on the beacon. She said, "Don't break free until the last second, when the smoke is clouding everybody's eyes." So I didn't. I stayed up on the beacon. They're setting it on fire. Wood is piled around me. Smoke is coming up my face and nostrils. So I waited. And wouldn't you know, right at the last minute when I decided to break free, because she loosened them for me, I failed my strength roll. and I just collapsed from the fumes and the flames coming up my jacket, and it just burned up. That was my brutal end. Just because I failed that damn strength check at the last minute. But it was fun. I had a good time. So yeah, Call of Cthulhu, that's my next project.
I think that the last time I played it was 87, 6 or 7. Because we were big into D&D, and then we tried out Call of Cthulhu. And that was a big thing for a while. And I'm trying to think what it was. It was something to do with a school or something. No. I remember rightly. We had to go into some big old-fashioned school and find something. But it was good fun.
Yeah. If you're a fan of this writing, it's even more fun.
No, I've not read any of this. No. I should really.
Well, like I said, like his work, The Call of Cthulhu, is very short. Most of his writings are short stories, or just really shorter than that. So, and they're easy to find online. You could just look it up and find the complete Call of Cthulhu story, or Mountains of Madness. That's another good one.
I wouldn't mind getting that one on audiobook.